It's 1974. You've got 60,000 people packed in a stadium, over 100 countries watching worldwide in what is going to be the most phenomenal boxing showdown in world history. In one corner, you have the world #1 champion, George Foreman. And in the other corner, the former world heavyweight champion, Muhammad Ali. The two questions we want to answer this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is how is it in 8 rounds the world #1 champion, George Foreman, lost to Muhammad Ali? And secondly, how can we apply this to your winning business strategy in Africa? Ladies and gentlemen, if you can allow me, I'm going to take these off because you can imagine the inconvenience I'll face if I have to go to the gents in the middle of the presentation. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Rutendo Hwindingwi, and today I'm going to take you through a journey entitled Winning Business in Africa, The Rumble in the Jungle Reloaded. There are 5 key nuggets that I share during my presentation, but for the purpose of today, I'm going to focus on one key nugget that I've gleaned not only from this famous fight in 1974, but also from my academic background and from my experience working in the African jungle. And this key nugget is know your territory. So before we commence into understanding this nugget, I would like to set the scene a bit. 1974, George Foreman was the world #1 boxing champion. He was young, he was arrogant, and he knew it. He represents the multinational or the corporation that's coming into Africa that has tried and tested its strategies in Australia, in Asia, in America, and has been successful. For them, coming to Africa is a walk in the park. Muhammad Ali was no longer the world boxing champion in 1974. He was older than George Foreman. He was the man who coined the phrase, float like a butterfly, sting like a... It shows I'm in Durban, everybody knows that. He represents the underdog, the multinational or the corporate also fighting in the same space as the market leader, but is not as well resourced, is not as well financed, but has got the same passion and drive. The location of the fight itself was in a very unique place. It was in a city called Kinshasa, in a country called Zaire, present-day DRC. None of the fighters have ever fought in a place like this before. The smell was different, the culture was different. The whole world had never seen a fight of this nature in a location like this. And that's the thing about Africa. As much as there's opportunity, there's also risk and uncertainty. To spice the fight even more on the day was this gentleman, Mobutu Sese Seko, who was the dictator of Zaire in 1974. He put aside $10 million of his own cash. Well, it's not his own cash because he was a dictator, but anyway, let's not go into politics. He put in $10 million in 1974 into the fight to finance it. Africa, opportunity, risk, unpredictability. All key ingredients of a recipe, if you put it together, can give you a successful meal as a corporate going to the African market. So now that we've identified and set up the scene, let us go into that one of those key nuggets that made the Muhammad Ali successful on that day. Muhammad Ali flew in a few weeks earlier than George Foreman for that fight. And by doing that, it allowed him to engage and interact with the people of the DRC to understand their culture and their minds and what drove them. To such an extent, on the day of the fight, as Muhammad Ali, the underdog, strode onto the ring, the crowds were screaming, Ali! Bomaye! Ali! Bomaye! Which, when you translate it from the vernacular, means Ali, kill him. Ali, kill him. By understanding the DNA and what drove the individuals, Muhammad Ali had won the hearts and the minds of the people. He had got market share before the business plan was even launched. George Foreman, on the other hand, flew in later than Muhammad Ali. He did not engage and interact with the people, to such an extent that on the day of the fight, as the world #1 champion strode onto the ring, he had lost the crowd. He had lost the market share. Understand the dynamics of the African market for you to be successful. I'll end with this, ladies and gentlemen. Africa is open for business. In fact, it has never been closed. The question is your business strategy ready for Africa? Thank you.